It just kind of worked. It's what William Gibson would refer to as the sprawl. If you're going to create an inner, concentric rings of privilege, that's easier to envision in LA. I think just visually, graphically, we thought of LA early on, and then, I think I worked for you, right, Langdon? I mean, just get more room it seemed to fit in with the landscape.
All right.
Wasn't any like it's more Californians would be much more likely to behave like this kind of a.
Tony, if you're doing no reservation in San Diego, what would you do and where would you eat?
You're really gonna hate this answer. I'd be in Mexico, bro. Here just fine, the food's awesome, it's some of the best uni in the world, but the temptation especially now what's going on in Baja, it's like the new Tuscany, it is mind-blowing down there. I'm not going to be on this planet that much longer. I'd be spending my time in Baja. Yes, ma'am.
I should be offended as a San Diego native.
I would understand completely.
Sorry. You kept saying, everyone has said on the panel, the food had to be accurate, the food had to be accurate, the food had to be accurate. Langdon kept asking you questions about cutlery and freshwater versus saltwater eels and whatnot, but you're not a sushi chef. So who did you farm the questions out to that you weren't able to answer?
Actually, we stayed pretty safe on this. There are huge, enormous areas of Japanese cuisine where I'm out of my element. So we kind of kept it in areas where I was comfortable. We refer to videotape of meals that I've had with chefs that I know. But kaiseki meal, for instance, there's a reason kaiseki is not, or a tea ceremony is not in this book, because I don't know anything about it. I don't know anywhere near enough in those areas. So I kept the focus tight. I avoided the dangers of it.
Thank you.
Okay, I got a print for you too. That's the most thoughtful question by anybody in a Zatanna costume I've had again in my history. This is an awesome panel. Thank you. Next question.
Hi, wonderful job on the book, everybody. I loved it. Absolutely beautiful. Tony, you were not that long ago in my hometown, Boston, and I just wanted to find out what you think, comparison-wise, one pop culture experience to another, Comic-Con versus South by Southwest.
Wow. And I've just been to both really for the first time. I just went to South by Southwest. They're both amazing. What South by Southwest does well is they farm out a lot of the events. They decentralize in a really cool way. So you don't have to go to one place to see all the bands. They're all happening all over, so you can pick and choose.
Sometimes that's a bug rather than a feature.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't been out. I haven't wandered out of the DC booth yet, so I can't give you a straight answer there. Well, yeah. Ask me next year.
Sir, Mr. Bourdain, it's a pleasure to meet you. I just finished your cook's tourbook, and before I read that, I have to be honest, I thought you were a bit of a snot, but but is Cambodia still your living hell?
Is it still?
Your living hell?
No, Cambodia, I've been back recently, and it's hugely changed. It's still a really messed up government, but what was always incredibly heartbreakingly beautiful. The people are fantastic.
That was the first
I was, I'd barely been out of the country the first time I went, and Cambodia in 2000 was more than my heart could take in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
I had a hard time crossing.
The chapter in your book is it sat with me. I had read it, and then I couldn't read the book for a while.
Well, I've been back since I will again.
I have a copy, and could you sign it for me?
Yes.
I have a question for the whole team. So, as you No, you have this love-hate relationship with foodies. They analyze every step and every sentence you speak. And on the other hand, you now answer comics, a community which equally nitpicky. The feeling that you have to hold back, that you can't do certain things you would love to try out just because you're the new guy in the field.
I was very concerned coming here. I was thinking that I would, a lot of celebrities slap their name thoughtlessly on product and expect to get some love. We worked really hard on this. This was, I go way back with my love of comics and, people foodies take their food seriously, and comic community take this is a serious and storied art form. I was afraid that I'd be approached by a bunch of hostile people looking at me as an interloper. How about you? You've got some street cred in this area. You guys.
I felt. Listen, we put in our hearts and our sweat, and we did the job. We took this very seriously. We were really passionate about doing it, and we wanted to do a good job. And the truth is that...
But did you think you had to hold back?
Listen, my dream is for almost my whole childhood and teenage years was to make comics. So late in life to have the opportunity to be part of one. For me, this was awesome and fun and a little bit scary.
We were incredibly fortunate in this project because Tony and I had a vision. We worked to get it down, but these guys translated that. They took it and made it much more than what we had set out to do. We never dreamt that it would take on the breadth that it did, and that was initially thanks to Langdon, who just was relentless in his quest to make this as good as he possibly could. So many times when you see listen, I worked at Paradox Press, I worked on History of Violence and Road to Perdition, Green Candles, my own book, La Pacifica. I worked on a lot of the big books. A book of this size, it's very hard for an artist to see it through page after page, panel after panel. It's grueling work. It's very, very tough. Yet every panel in Get Jiro is a masterpiece unto itself because Langdon was unrelenting. We used to laugh because we would get pages of notes of questions, him asking what we meant by this page, what about this, what if he did this. Everything was fluid and growing as we, Tony and I, sat in awe. When we first got the pencils back, okay, then we would get the inks and it would be that much better. And then we started getting, Jose's color. And it was like, what is going on here? Like, we never dreamt that it would be this incredibly beautiful and so powerful. And it's thanks to these guys that it is so...
If nothing else, we knew that we were coming to Comic-Con with an awesome book.
Thanks, guys. So just to clarify the point, if you came here, Tony, concerned about whether you'd be accepted here, have we alleviated that concern?
Do it a little better.
A little better. Please make him feel better right now, folks. Next question.
Okay, first of all,